Thank you so much for joining us. We're very glad to hear of you on Weather Nation, unfortunately under these circumstances, but you did have that flash flood warning, the flash flood emergency nearby. How is Corpus Christi as a city preparing for that possibility as well?
Hi, thank you so much. It's been it's a surprise to us all, right? This weather, but our team, we've got such a wonderful team, and we've really been preparing, been very proactive in what we've been doing with the residents and the communication. Our crews were ready, and they continue to be. They're just ready to be called, right? We've also proactively in June started giving out sandbags. So a lot of our residents are ready and prepared with sandbags. We gave out, I think it was about 12,000 in 3 or 4 different events that we had. We've got our beaches down here, as you may have mentioned. We've got our beach operations on standby as well. Animal care services. That's always something to remember, that we need to bring in our animals, our pets. And of course, we've got our construction sites and our lower lying flood areas that we've got barricaded off some streets, depending on how low they lie. But again, we're just on standby with police, fire, and everybody ready to go should we need them.
And Mayor, this has been abnormally wet for the Corpus Christi area over the last couple of months. I mean, earlier this year, you were in drought conditions. Now we're looking at substantial moisture round after round. Would the city be prepared if there was a flash flood warning that's issued? Because we still have flash flood watches that continue as we go into the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yes, yes, and yes, we are. We practice very proactive measures. We have a very steadfast team that's ready to go. We are on the phone and in virtual meetings quite a bit, preparing for everything, just in case, always for the worst. But again, it's really about our proactiveness in getting ready for what could be. Hopefully, it won't be, but as you mentioned, it very well could be. And being that we're right on the coast, it's a very dangerous. We don't take it. We take it very seriously.
And that's so good to hear. And like we do here on Weather Nation, we try to let people prepare ahead of time. So for those areas you mentioned, for people or businesses that might be in a spot that we do get too much rain and you might start to see some flash flooding, what is your advice to those residents of how they can best prepare now, just in case that situation arises?
So if you are in a very low-lying area, you need to make sure, you try. Hopefully, you have sandbags. That is something that's going to be very helpful. And again, that's why we gave out about 12,000 of them here in June. But we also encourage people, if they need help, to call. Not call our police or fire or even city hall at this point. We also ask everyone, make sure you bring in your animals, make sure you have your property protected as much as possible. But it really, being that we're here, we're on the coast, we're prone to hurricanes. We are constantly making sure that people are reminded of the importance of being prepared, not only for a hurricane, but what's a rain weather event, as we're having today and this during this time.
And Mayor, we have people that are watching both locally and across the entire country. Is there anything else you would like to say on behalf of the city of Corpus Christi or for the Gulf Coast in general as we move forward into hurricane season, but also to potentially see more events like this in the future?
Sure, I would say, I would reiterate to err on the side of caution and take nothing for granted. The phrase may sound a little cliche, but turn around, don't drown. That's very, very true. And we see a lot of that happening when we have these rain events across the country. So we take that seriously. Flash flooding is no joke. Mother Nature is extremely, can be deadly, obviously. So I would just say, be very, very careful and cautious. If it starts raining, don't go out if you don't need to. Just stay in.
Thank you, Mayor Paulette Guajardo from the Corpus Christi area. We appreciate you joining us here on Weather Nation. Stay safe.